So obviously, I know you wrestled in Snake Pit, and then you've wrestled internationally. You've gone everywhere.
Mm-hmm.
What made you come back and go, all right, I've done the solo run. You did the solo run to excel. Where do you go? How do you come back and go, all right, you know what? It's time to make a team.
Mm.
How's that process begin?
I was old and I needed young guys to carry me. No, well, part of it is that, perhaps, I guess. I've always been a big fan of the NWO, DX, all the factions, even the sideline faction of the Kliq in reality.
Yeah.
All of those guys together, for me, to me that was cool.
Yeah.
These group of guys that just didn't give a crap about anything. With DX in WWE and with NWO in WCW, they're basically like, we're going to do whatever we want. Mm-hmm. And if we stick together, we can do whatever we want. And they were all big dudes, and they were either bad guys or they did bad guy stuff, but the crowd thought that they were cool. We've never had that in Australian wrestling. You've never had a faction that's been like that has been over the top, that are larger than life guys that will go ahead and do whatever they want. And with the Bullet Kliq, we're not trying to be good guys, bad guys. We're just the dudes that come out and don't give a shit.
And tear shit down.
And that's exactly right. So I put some thought into it. And there was a group of friends that we used to get together and watch pay-per-views and all that sort of stuff. And we'd start spitballing ideas and all that. And also, too, the Bullet Club at that time was pretty big in Japan. And we all knew about that. And we thought they were cool.
Yeah.
Very cool, you know. There's Finn, there's AJ, and all of them. So we thought, yeah, this whole thing that's awesome. And me being me from a marketing perspective, because I always marketed myself,
yep.
if that makes sense. Even with my company, I did all the marketing for the business and so on. I knew how to sell it. I knew how to put it out there so people would be interested in it, or create something that people go, oh, what's that? You know, I want to, let me find out more. And I did that with a Maniac character. And then I thought, right, well, if I can do that with a group of guys, maybe it's going to have the same effect. So I kind of put some thought into it to try and think, what am I going to do? We need a name, we need a logo, we need, who's it going to be that's going to be with
course,
me, you know? So first off, I knew straight away it was going to be Big Giant Coyote, Josh. Me and him had wrestled for years against, and it's always been me and him, always, because we were the two biggest dudes.
Guys, yeah.
And people used to love it, and we used to have great matches, and we'd do some stupid shit. Like, I superplexed him off the top rope of a ring one night, and he's 180 kilos. We almost broke the ring, and the crowd just exploded. So we could do cool stuff together against each other, but I was thinking, well, what could we do as a tag team together that would look insane, that we would absolutely destroy everyone else? So I put it to Josh, and he yeah, absolutely. Yep, let's do it. And we had a third mate as well that we put it to him as well, but we said we got to do it slowly. And he was like, yeah, I'm in. And he was quite happy to wait at the time, and that was Spaceman. But then, so I come up with this name, and I thought, what can I do for a name? And obviously, I wanted to be controversial. I didn't want to be original, because who gives a crap about originality in wrestling? Really, it's the case of what is a fan going to gravitate to and like.
Yep.
I don't care if I pinch something from here and I pinch something from here, as long as I don't take the entire thing and just
Tarantino's made a career out of it.
Yeah, exactly.
It's just paying an homage to something. It's paying tribute to his.
Exactly.
The way I look at the Bullet Kliq myself, just as a fan or as somebody who just watches it, right? Okay, you are the homage to, as you say, the NWA, DX, the Bullet Club. You're the homage to those guys who arrive, tear shit down, leave.
Yep.
So it makes sense to call yourself something that is, I mean, it's basically like calling yourself D-Generation World Order.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? It's just that same name where you've gone, all right, let's put together these two names. And it makes sense because it's a bullet. To me, the other logical thing, what's the last thing you hear before you die? The Bullet Kliq.
That's right.
So,
that's exactly right.
You know, it makes perfect sense.
Yep.
So you get, as you say, you get Code in, you get Spacey in.
Yep.
And then that's when
we brainstormed a bit more, and that's when the idea popped in. I said to him, well, let's take the Bullet Club and let's put the, somewhat of the Kliq DX together and see what we come up with. And that's when I did a few different things, and then I put Bullet Kliq together. And all of a sudden it was like, that's it.
Yeah.
That's it. And then from there I worked on I'm no graphic designer, but I know what I like and I know what I can put together, and then I can give it to someone that is and go, that's what I want.
Yeah.
And it normally works out all right. And that's where we came up with that design, which, again, people said, it's a rip-off of the Bullet Club's logo. I'm like, well, it's not really. If you put them side by side, there's a similarity, but it's not a blatant rip-off of their logo. But like you said, we are being respectful to all of those groups, because at the end of the day, if you look at what we do in the ring and the way that we depict ourselves online and so on, we're not being dickheads that are taking the piss out of the Bullet Club, the NWO or DX or the Kliq itself. We're trying to be just as bad, if not badder than what they were.
Yeah, exactly.
To keep it honest, so to speak. We're not out there going, doing this shit and all that.
Exactly.
We don't do any of that. That's like we did in a promo when we first came out. We said, well, it was me. I said, for all you keyboard warriors that think we're a stupid hand gesture, I said, I got a hand gesture for you. And I just go like that to the camera and say, fuck you.
Yeah.
But it kind of stuck. So then every time we're in the ring, regardless if we're flipping the bird at everyone, and not essentially a stone cold way, but maybe in a little way,
But once again, it fits into the anti-authority gimmick cover. Like your logo, personally, I don't see the Bullet Kliq logo. I see, once again, an homage to the Expendables logo.
Absolutely.
Myself. That's what I see, but I look at it and go, yep, if you'll pardon the term here, the older guy is coming out to tear shit up, but he's still, much like the Expendables, we need to send in the monster old guy, because he's the only one that can do it. It's the Undertaker philosophy. When all else fails, Undertaker.
Yeah, you hit the nail on the head. The beret was the expendable part of it. Exactly. So that's where I tried to draw things from. Yeah, okay, you got the machine guns, you've got the wings, you've got the somewhat skull, but it's more of a zombie face than a skull. But then you've got the aviators, and you've got the beret and everything. And there's bits and pieces of everything in there, which you've perfectly picked out. So, yeah, we did that, and then we advertised it online, and we started pushing it and teasing it. And all we put up was the logo. Nothing else, the logo and the name. And, of course, Australian wrestling, being Australian wrestling as it is, as you say, it begins, the shit talk starts, the haters start with, oh, this is shit, this is a rip-off, blah, blah, blah. You've got, little wrestling groups online that say this is fucked, whatever, this would be a joke. And you've got even one in America called Trash Bag Wrestling, that then they started hating on us. And then you had all these skinny rednecks that think they were wrestling superheroes in America starting to hate on us and all that. And I'm thinking, it's all right, because we're getting interest. The US is already looking at the logo, and it's nothing else.
But here's the other point too. What did Eric Bischoff, the only man to turn profit in WCW, always say? Controversy creates cash.
Exactly.
So, right off the back, here's a picture and it's got controversy attached to it. You've got to be sitting there going, hate all you want, dickheads. It's the internet. Hate all you want, dickheads. Of course you're going to hate. But if you're getting that much hate, you're doing something right. That's the way I've always looked at it. If it's internet wrestling fans, if you're doing something, you have to be doing something right to get that much hate.
Because everyone was talking about it. You could create a logo and put it up there, and they might go, look at this is shit.
Yeah.
But then that's it.
Yeah, exactly.
No one says anything about it. There was continuous smashing of the logo. Some people liked it, some people didn't. There was more haters than likers.
It's the internet.
And for me, I was just going, this is perfect. Keep going.
Exactly, yeah.
And then we created a video, which was basically like an old NWO thing, some static, the logo, and because of it being Bullet Kliq and so on like that. So what we did is we got, the old thing of the babes with machine guns.
Yep.
Chicks in bikinis with guns, just shooting the guns off like that. Little clippets of riots, and then the police and so on, and all we said was, we're coming. And we put that up there, and then that started to get either more heat or more interest as well. And one of the funniest things was that Mark Williamson put a comment on there. He goes, if I don't see chicks with bikinis and machine guns come out, I call bullshit. Like, well, that's typically your style of comment, Mark, but I thought that was funny. I mean, look, Mark knows me. He managed me for years, but he knew nothing of it.
Yeah.
No one knew anything of it apart from me, Josh, and Spaceman, and a couple other friends that weren't directly involved with wrestling. And then all of a sudden, it says we're coming, and it was a VPW show in Queensland, but we still didn't release who we were until that night of the show. And then all of a sudden, I can't remember if Josh walked out first or I did. I don't think it really matters. But we've walked out, and then everyone's going, oh my God. The two biggest dudes that you can find in Australia are now together. And we were in like a tag team tournament thing, and you know we've got the shirts. We've changed our look somewhat, as in costume wise. Not a great deal, but just enough. I created a custom black baseball bat, very much like Sting, but then also with our logo and name on both sides of the bat. So it's a custom bat. We put thought into everything we were going to use, and we wanted to brand everything that we had. Even to a steel chair. Yep. Just not a normal black steel chair, proper WCW staging chair, sprayed black with a big Bullet Kliq logo right on the front where everyone can see it, so that if you're going to get whacked in the head, that's the last thing you see before you get knocked out.
Nice.
Yeah. And me and Josh went out there and we just destroyed 2 teams. We got disqualified because I kind of cracked the shits and got in the ring and just smashed some dude. But we put over what we wanted to.
Yep.
As that me and Josh are together. We don't give a shit what you think. We'll just beat anyone up. We don't care.
Coming.
Yeah, and even the belts themselves didn't mean shit to us. The idea was we just want to go out there and wreck it.
Yep.
And that was it. And then after that, we did the little promo as well. And on that night, we had a professional cameraman there that was through one of my director friends that came and filmed it amazingly. And that's the other thing we wanted to do was we wanted all photos in black and white that looked incredible, specifically set the right way. Specific photos, not just you'd have the kid out the back that's just won his match in his, you know, his trackies are still on and he's got his phone and his twisties in this hand, but then he's going, you know, yeah, I just won. You won what? You won eating a bag of twisties, you know? We'd make sure every photo was specifically set up the right way, and then we'd do stuff to it, making it black and white and all that. But this cameraman guy just came back and created the most amazing promo footage for us. Put our music to it, which we were specific about the music we chose for how we wanted it, because at the start it has I call it a very bad 70s porn style riff at the start, and then it changes into some real heavy music. Yeah. So what we did is we edited the machine gun sound right in between that section where it transitions from 70s porn to hardcore music. And it was perfect for us. So he put that on top of the video, and he made the video black and white. And all of a sudden, we've put that on, and the mindset changed straight away. Some of the haters will instantly go, oh, this is the best thing I've ever seen. Even one specific bloke jumped on our bandwagon straight away when he was one of the biggest haters of all. He even took one of our shirts. He's like, I want a shirt. Right, cool. So that was great. And then, you know, we just kept producing quality stuff to present out there online. You know, and we're big guys, you know, we take pride in the way that we look, what we wear. We want to make it look as professional as possible. We're not going to go out there and tap out shorts and a pair of sneakers and woo, wrestling. That's just not what we do. So, and then we brought Jason in. We brought Jason in a specific way where no one had any idea. It was me and Josh against I think 4 other tag teams one night, and we set it up that it was right near the end that there was me and Josh against 2 guys left on the other side. One was Space, one was another dude. Or the whole match, Space has been itching to get in, trying to get the hot tag, and he'd never get it. Then all of a sudden, the guy somehow got on top on one of us. He's gone to tag Space. He used to step straight off the apron, flip the bird at him. Everyone's like, what are you doing? He's come around to our corner. There's a Bullet Kliq shirt underneath, popped it on. Everyone's just lost their mind. He's jumped in the ring and just gone berserk on this dude. And that's how we brought him in as well. So we do things like that to shock people. Same thing with Blake Stone.
I was just about to say.
Same thing with Blake Stone. We come out and Josh had wrestled Blake Stone before. I had wrestled Blake Stone before. So had Space. We've all had history with him before. He's a big guy. Perfect pick for us. But everyone's thinking, oh, they're just going to kick the crap out of him. All of a sudden, twist! He's in with us as well. So we do it that way because it makes it exciting too. Like, we've already teased there's a 5th one coming. There is. But we'll let him out when we're ready.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, we don't need to rush.
Exactly.
When he comes out, everyone will be shocked again. So that's the sort of thing. It's excitement we've tried to build for Australian wrestling where no one does it.
Yeah.
No one does it. So that's what we wanted to try and bring in with something like that.
Nice. Well, let's get on to last night and AWA since we touched on it. So obviously this whole series has been built around the fact that you've been trying to get this title. First of all, you were supposed to have with Sexton, and Rocky made sure you didn't.
Yeah, he screwed me.
Yeah, and then obviously, Blake Stone was meant to take it home, and Rocky Once again,
Again.
it's a bit of pattern went on here. And then obviously you decided enough was enough. You were going to take out Rocky, and once again, Rocky got up your ass. Led to you choke slamming. My highlight of the night, you choke slamming Steve, and what has to be the most textbook choke slam I've ever seen. Perfect choke slam.
He's the promoter. He
He's
shouldn't be in the ring.
Just
He has wrestled before, and he has an extensive wrestling background and so on. But he was upset.
Yeah.
So was I. I reacted first and won.
And then obviously backstage later on, you got beat by Rocky, and this time Dean was there as well.
Yeah.
And then obviously Rocky did what he does best. Stooges his way to a title.
Pussies out.
And then finds out, well, the main event for the grand final was always set to be whoever didn't win between you and Sexton was going into that cage.
Yeah.
So then obviously, as we saw last night, Bullet Kliq came out, they got sent to the back, didn't need him anyway, climbed over the cage and walked out with that. So, let's talk through it all, let's talk through the whole AWA series. What was your mindset going into it, and how do you feel now that you've walked out with this?
Yeah. Look, first off, being approached by Steve to be asked to be part of it was fantastic in itself. I'd seen some of his shows before, and the quality shows, the guys he had on there were amazing. And then for him to approach me to say, hey, would you like to be a part of this series? I was very happy to say yes. You know, my parents live in Adelaide. For me to be able to come back home at any stage, for me, I'd jump at it. And obviously Mum and Dad were extremely happy. So having that offered to start with was great. Then to see the calibre of the guys that were going to be on the show, I'm thinking this is even better. I had no idea on the direction of what he wanted with me, with the show. I didn't really care. I was getting to go home, see Mum and Dad. I don't care if I get beat. I don't care about nothing. I'll go do what I have to do, and then I can go home and eat Mum's home cooking. It's fine with me, you know. Mama's boy, you know. But then he didn't really reveal anything to me on how he wanted it to go. It was always show by show.
Yeah.
And he said, I'm putting you into the championship tournament on the first show. It's great, okay. He goes, you got double duty that night. I'm like, I'm 42. Do you remember how old I am? And he laughed. He goes, you'll be right. I'm like, yeah, thanks. So I think the first one I had was Johnny Raddick.
Yep.
I've had amazing matches with Johnny over the years, especially when I lived in Adelaide and wrestled for Snake Pit and so on. So I was quite happy and looking forward to wrestle with Johnny. You know, it's always good wrestling with him and all these little dirty, smart-ass, cheap tricks like the powder he threw on my face and all that.
Johnny's amazing.
He's good, and I find it hard sometimes not to laugh.
Beat him, then you wanted to face Tyler.
Tyler, and I'd never wrestled Tyler, but I might have had a couple of things with Tyler in Snake Pit back many years ago. And I mean, he never looked as good as he does now. He's got better with age.
Yeah.
His physique looks insane. He's got the coolest beard ever, and he's such a nice guy. So they said, all right.
Sorry, Tyler, I don't condone that.
He was a nice guy. But yeah, we had a good match, and we worked that out, that you know how it was going to be and so on. And funny enough, that his match was a little bit more physical than ones I've had in a long time, because just to digress somewhere else for a second, the following day I had to fly out to the Philippines to bodyguard the Big Show for some promo over there. So I wrestled that night. I'm on the plane the next morning to go internationally to the Philippines. So I had, I don't know, 7 hours maybe on the plane from here to there. So I'm sore, I'm grumpy. I get off the plane, I get to the hotel, they check me in and everything. Big Show arrives the next day. So one, I have to shave this off because I'm thinking I don't want to stand out or try and stand out with the Big Show there. Not that I could, he's 7 foot tall, you know. So I forgot to pack my overnight bag. So I've got no clippers, I've got no razors or nothing. So I've gone into the bathroom to search and try and find the one razor and the cream and stuff to dry shave it off, because I'm thinking it's got to go. And I've looked up, and there's this whopping black eye from the corner of my eye spanning out the side of my head. And I'm like, I thought, is that, I've got something on my eye, and I'm trying to rub it off like that. And then I've realised that I remembered back in the match that Tyler slugged me one right in my eye at one stage. And I'm thinking, oh yeah, this, you know, it's what you do.
Happens, yeah.
I didn't realise that I had this black eye. I'm thinking, oh, that's going to look great. I'm going to have a half chopped up beard and this black eye that makes me look like a tranny while I'm trying to bodyguard the Big Show. Anyway, it worked out. It was fine.
So as you say, you go double duty, and now you've earned your title shot with Sexton.
Yep.
Alright, so talk through, and obviously that is the show that Blakestone joins, is episode 2.
That's
so
right.
Episode 2 starts off with Blakestone having his first match.
Yeah, he had the singles match,
Yep.
and then we've come out at the end because he's gone over and won. We've done our whole bizzo where we've kind of fooled the crowd that we're going to do him over, but then he's in with us.
Yep.
So then that leaves Josh and Space. I keep calling him Josh. Josh and Space in the ring to have their match, their tag match, and they just blitz. I think it was Ace and Hater.
It was, yeah.
Ace and Hater, yeah. And they had a fantastic match, which was great. And that was their debut on AWA, which was great.
Got over with the crowd too.
Yeah,
Massively
yeah,
over.
which was really good. So then it comes to the time where I'm supposed to come out to wrestle Sexton, and of course Rocky comes running from the back with our chair, no doubt, not just a chair, with our chair, and poleaxes me from behind, and then continues to give me, I think, 3 other shots while I'm on the ground. Contrary to Josh Armour saying that I got stomped on the ground, got hit once and then a couple of stomps, and then going, how does the Maniac stay down from 1 chair shot and a couple of stomps? Well, you're fucking wrong. So then we have to get a replacement.
Yep.
And the boys choose Blakestone, being the new member. All right, you're in, but earn your stripes. Go get it. Rocky ends up getting Sexton to get the win, and that's how that transpires. Okay.
3 was the one where you came through the crowd, which I know I got pops from the promoters for with the way that I filmed that, because I didn't actually tell. All I told the guy was, at some point Wayne's coming out, so just
stay on that door.
Just be ready.
Yeah, exactly. So that was right, because they held the show hostage at the start and said, "Oh, Rocky, that's it, bring him out." In the end, I had to get a chair and sit down and go, "I'm not going anywhere," but he ends up coming out. So. And then we have our back and forwards there. But then I wanted retribution, so I get the chair and I'm going to pop it around his neck and snap his little shitty neck. But of course, then you have the 3 Stooges from ringside jump in the ring. Josh, Wolfie, and Paul all try and stop me. And then the referees stop me as well. But then get away from them, and then Rocky gives me a shot in the knee with the chair, and then he pussies out and runs to the back with Valente. It's Valente. So then I'm left in the ring, and of course I'm pissed. I've got these 3 retards plus 2 little candy stripers trying to stop me, and then Steve comes in going, "Oh, it's all right, relax, I'll give you relax." Now you can relax for about half hour. Enjoy that one. And of course I walk out, and I was pissed, so I give everyone the finger. But I wasn't pissed at the fans, I was pissed at everyone that was in the ring.
Yeah, exactly.
So, it kind of annoyed me.
Fans are still happy though to see you just tear shit apart.
Yeah.
They love it. They seem to just love seeing Maniac wreck.
Just choke slam someone, that's what I want.
So number 1.
Yeah.
Boom.
It's
I'm going home.
Exactly.
So episode, and then obviously you went out the back and Rocky. That's the episode. That's where Rocky.
Yeah, looking for Rocky. Find that thing called Dean, and then Rocky jumps around, and then he gets me with a step ladder again in the knee.
Yeah, and what legitimately afterwards I actually went out and found him and told him legitimately. I've never seen a man hit another man with a step ladder.
No. I mean, the step ladder was up to my knee, so it was the
It
right
was a
height,
proper
I guess.
WLC ladder.
Yeah. That would be Mr. Big's step ladder as well. See, Mr. Big, I'm giving you some plugs. We did that, and then obviously that's the next show I didn't make, which was the Scramble for the title, where Rocky sent that up very well to be able to take out every person that was supposed to be the 6th entrant, wasn't it?
Yep.
And then he comes out right at the end, slides in, sneaks the pin, gets the win without having to do anything.
Exactly.
And then takes the title. Yet at the start of
having
the show,
retired earlier in the night.
yeah, saying that he can't wrestle, he's got a bad neck, I can't do this, I can't do that.
Not even Terry Funk was that bad.
No, exactly.
At least wait a show, Rocky. Come on.
Terry Funk had balls too, but that's a different story in itself. He does that, and then that leads into last night.
Yep.
So, and putting the cage around us to make sure that he doesn't weasel
You
out.
seem you seem very at ease and very at home inside a cage.
I've had plenty of cage. A cage match is my home. I prefer to have a cage match over a regular match. Quite happy to be surrounded by steel. Quite happy to have the risk of being thrown into the cage, or to have the quality of being able to throw somebody into it myself. Having said that too, a lot of the times I've done stuff where I've jumped from either the top rope or up on the cage in to the ring because I have that stability and support of being able to use it. Because I'm a big guy, I don't have a lot of balance on the top rope by myself.
But with it behind your back.
But if I have the cage there, I don't have any fear about coming off a height like that. It's the case of the balance of being able to do it. As you saw last night with the superplex from the top of the cage. For me, a cage is my home. I like it. It's good. And I like it better when I can make someone bleed from the cage as well.
Yeah, he definitely did that last night.
Made Adam Bruiser bleed in the cage. I've got Rocky, a few others. So.
Yeah. And he went the my personal belief that you should only be able to win a cage match by escaping it.
Absolutely.
Well, let's put him inside a cage. 1, 2, 3.
You should never. There should never be a pin allowed in a cage match. It should always be an escape, whether it's through the door or you have to climb up and over.
Speaking of the door, how's your head feeling after taking that shot?
Yeah, that's not cool. That's why this is on today. It's hiding a mark on my head. But
that did look pretty nice. Though.
Yeah, Dean got me with the door. It was not cool. So what I would have liked to is we've got my hands on Dean after the show as well. But he sort of I climbed out one side, he's dragged Rocky out the other, and they've just powdered to the back straight away. And of course, my boys have come run around this side as well. So
you boys came through the fan, which was cool.
Oh, did they?
Yeah, they came through the main entrance, through the fans, and into the ring to be with you.
Shit, I didn't know. I didn't know where they come from because I'm there, I've got the bed, I'm standing up. All of a sudden, I've got this massive bear hug from Coyote from behind, which almost flattened me in itself.
Yeah, they came running in.
Yeah, that's cool because I didn't know where they came from.
It was really cool.
But no, that was good. It was a nice way to finish the series, was to be able to walk away with this, have my guys win at the same time too, and basically put AWA on notice and say, we're here. You got to find someone to beat us.
Yeah.
So,
yeah, I don't know that. That's an easy said.
It's not going to happen anytime soon, I'll tell you that. And then if we bring our fifth in, whether he appears on an AWA show, he appears in Queensland, he might appear in Melbourne, Sydney, he'll come from somewhere. I know where, but no one else will.
Yeah, exactly. So if I ask you a question then, we've wrapped the AWA series. So what is it that you feel is missing in Australian wrestling to take it to the level where it's not where we don't just have indie promotions, where we actually have a fed?
Yep.
What's missing?
Professionalism, money, and to have, like Steve has with AWA, a professional production company like yourselves with Cabana Productions, who are far surpassing anyone else here in Australia with what you guys do. Absolutely. No, it's a credit to you. To have that, encompass that all in one, have a promoter that, let's say, has had a wrestling background, but is not interested in wrestling anymore. Doesn't want to be the champ, doesn't want to be the main draw, doesn't want to be the face on the poster. Doesn't have the ego around it. Doesn't have the ego, just is a businessman that'll sit there and go, how do I make this work? How do I get this on TV? That's what it has to be. That has the mindset that I need to book guys that look the part, that can also wrestle.
And connect with the fans.
And connect with the fans, absolutely. Because unfortunately, nowadays, there are promoters that have got their favourites, that are their mates, that they might hang out with on the weekends, they'll go drink with, or do whatever, and so on. You're look, I consider you one of the best, you're going to be the champ of the Federation. He's 21 and 70 kilos in a pair of shorts and wrestles in a t-shirt. Doesn't work that way. I would not pay if you had somebody like that on a poster that's the champ and you're advertising that for the show. Come see wrestling, it's the best you'll see, blah, 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 blah. I wouldn't bother. I want to see, and I'm not saying from me, but what I'm saying is I want to see a monster on the poster, or several monsters, or guys that look like they can kick your ass.
Yeah, you don't have to be like, I hate that I have to use his name because there's so much controversy around it, Benoit.
Yep.
You don't have to be 7 feet tall.
No.
You just have to look like a wrestler.
Yeah, you look like an animal. You did. That's it. Also too, you don't have to be a body guy.
No.
You can be a big fat guy. You can be a small muscly guy. There's all different sorts you can be.
You've just got to look like a wrestler. You've got to have the character.
And have the character. That's it. There's too many guys at the moment that'll run around in a cut-off shirt and a pair of tights and wrestle. They have some wrestling acumen and they're good. They can do their flips and all that. But at the end of the day, they look like a kid from walking down the street.
Yeah.
That's in some wrestling gear. And that's it. There's no character base with what they do. So, and that's what it's all about, is drawing a crowd in by looking at the people going, holy shit, look at that, I want to see that.
Yeah.
You know? So, having a booker that'll book quality people on the show and not just his friends because of whatever. And don't do something that you're going to have to book the lower style guys just to like to do a rumble.
Mm-hmm.
If you're going to do a 20-man rumble, there's not 20 guys in one place at one time that look the part that are perfect to do a rumble. So don't do it.
Mm-hmm.
Don't do it. You got to think smart about how you're going to book and what you're going to do. But then have quality production like yourselves. Have quality equipment like a professional ring. Proper ring that doesn't look like the paint's chipped off. You've got different coloured turnbuckles and the rope's done with tape from Bunnings or whatever. Have a decent style ring. The lighting, the sound. You've got to have the atmosphere set that when people walk in, they get excited. You don't have a gym or a warehouse or something that has just got the ring in the middle, some barricades and a curtain. Like, I'm talking just like a box with a curtain that you walk in and go, oh, what's this? You know, everyone bases everything for wrestling nowadays on what they see on TV.
Mm-hmm.
So if you can't emulate that, you're up against a brick wall straight away.
Absolutely,
And
that's
that's
what
the
I feel.
hardest
Is
part.
that there's so much media. We're in a media oversaturation at the moment with YouTube. If you want to capture somebody, you need to be at that A level, because otherwise they'll just keep flicking.
Exactly. Similar to what we do with the Bullet Kliq, we make it different.
Yeah.
We make it quality, but it's not all just standard international spots and stuff like that. We're pummeling someone with a bat, or we've got the chair, or we're abusing the camera. We're working the camera.
Yeah, exactly.
Which is what a lot of the guys at the moment don't do.
And I agree. As you say, working the camera is something that it connects you instantly with that audience at home. Because the bigger picture you can look. Yeah, you want the guys there to pop. They'll pop for what you're doing because they're there enjoying the show. But if you can get that person at home to go, like the CM Punk style thing was like, reach out and touch my hand. I'm certain there were people that were sitting there going, yeah,
of course.
I'm with you.
Yeah.
And like the Spacey last night did a great spot where he was doing the 10 punch and
Yep.
got distracted by the camera and was like flexing and loving himself in the camera.
A bit of ego there, and you go, oh yeah, that's and then of course he got distracted with it.
Ate some turnbuckle for it. But
But look,
great spot though.
I didn't have a shot at him for it. I thought it was cool.
Yeah.
I thought, if you get a chance to do it again, but just don't get sweeped out and hit the turnbuckle next time. You're spastic. I know, but it would look cool as it did, so don't worry, that's fine. But that's a big thing, is knowing where the photographer is, where the videos are, and so on. And that's part of the thing with acting for me, is what I do, because again, I'll say it again, I said it before, I said I'm no Bret Hart. I'm no technical wrestler. I never have been, I never will be, and I never say that I've said it before, I said I'm not a good wrestler, but I have everything else. And that outweighs for me having to do all the technical stuff. Yeah. So but that's what other people have to learn as well. They're pigeonholed. They have one thing. I can do Chris Jericho, I can do 101 holes. They can be that style of thing, but they're not Chris Jericho, of course. But that's what they do, and they think that's enough to get them over. So no one cares. No one in the crowd cares if you're doing all that sort of stuff. They want to be excited. They want to be able to yell abuse at you or cheer for you. And if you don't connect with them, you're dead in the water.
That's exactly it.
Simple. So.
Now, you mentioned your acting career. I'd be remiss if I didn't touch on that before we closed out. So you've been wrestling for a while. And was there a point where you were like, I want to be in front of cameras, but I don't just want to be getting shit kicked out of me every time I'm getting sick of waking up feeling like crap after doing the stuff. Was it that, or did it happen again where somebody looked at you and went, I want you to get in front of this camera? Yeah.
They had tryouts in Adelaide years ago where they were bringing back the TV series Gladiators, and they were looking for new gladiators as well as contestants. And they held this big open audition it used to be called Etsa Park. I don't know if it still is, the big netball thing or whatever. And they were after specific people, especially for the Gladiators. And one of my best friends is John Saru, who played Vulcan in the original series. We've been friends for years.
My favourite Gladiator.
Yes, somebody else's favourite too, I think.
Yeah, I do know somebody quite well. They had a poster of Vulcan on their wall.
So, yes. So he was in my ear about it, and he told me before it was even advertised, he said, it's coming out. He said, I've sent the producers photos of you. They want you to try out, blah, 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 blah. I said, yeah. I said, I love the show. I loved it when you were in it. I was always watching it, you know. Yeah. I said, so yeah, cool. And he said, you get in. All right. So the day came. I was no different to anyone else at the open tryouts. I just had to be there. I was a number, and that was it.
Yep.
But having said that, the producers were there scouting the people while they were doing the thing, so they knew me as I walked in. And they had Today Tonight there filming as well, a special on it as well, so they sort of honed in on me at the same time. The advertiser was there. They were taking photos of everyone. They got me and a girl, and they took a massive photo of me and her, and that was put in the newspaper as well. So I got the TV plug, I got the newspaper plug. Then from there I did the tryout. Got up to a section where you had to do all these burpees, and they're the most horrible thing in the world to do, and I'm like, I can't do them. I'm too big a guy to do those sorts of things. So I'm doing them, and the guy that was the instructor, the overseer at the time, he cut me from the burpees, and I'm like, oh, I'm done. You know, that's it. But I'm standing on the sideline, and then the producer walks up to me and she goes, "You're Wayne?" I said, "Yes." She goes, "Move up to the next level." I'm like, yes. Everyone's kind of going, "What?" And I'm thinking, So went through all the other stuff where you had to do some battling with some bats and chin-ups and shuttle runs and all that. And then we had to do a thing where you had to climb up a ladder and go all the way up the top of the arena in a harness, and they'd count down from 5, and you literally had to just step off the ladder and free fall.
Cool.
And have
trust
in the people with the harness that you were going to be fine. And a lot of the people would get up there and like, I can't do it. And because I'd done some matches where I was climbing the cage and doing all that sort of stuff, it was higher than what a cage would be. But
you're in a harness though. So.
I'm in a harness. I looked at the guy holding the rope though, and I'm thinking, oh, twice your weight. I don't know how this is going to work. But I've just gone, look, fuck it. And just, jumped off, and that was it. And then it was all done. And they did a selection from that group of people there to move into a next stage for interviewing and on-camera style promos. So I made it all the way through that. And then at the end they said, right, we'll let you know. And I get I don't know if it was a call or an email or something rather, and they say, oh, look, you were that close. We had a character by the name of Thunder that we had in mind for you and one other guy. And they said, we've gone with the other guy just because he's got a little bit more acting experience than what you have, and it turned out to be Derek Boyer. So Derek got that spot that I was trying for. But what had happened was, even though I didn't get it, the exposure I got from Today Tonight and the advertiser then had these agents in Adelaide, and he's some casting and so on like that, all trying to find where I am and who I am and whatnot. So I met up with them and gave them some photos and all that, and it started from there. I got 2 movie roles out of that with he's some casting straight off the bat. It was like that straight away. And of course the newspaper found out, so then I'm in the newspaper again, and then I'm in the newspaper again, and the media exposure just started from there. I became a media whore in like weeks. So the TV, I was in the papers and magazines, I was doing the movies and so on like that. So
nice.
It sort of started from there, and then of course I'm pigeonholed in what I can do in movies because of how I look.
Yeah.
And that's fine.
We're not going to be the IT nerd.
Well, no, and I'm certainly not going to be no Shakespearean by no means, but the prisoner, the thug, the bad guy, the truckie, the bikie, whatever, is very suitable. So certain roles would come up for that sort of thing. And even the other night when we were doing the TV pilot filming and so on like that, the guy that was in charge of that said to me, he goes, you know, you're very specific, but there is a need for people like you, and there's no one that's doing it. So like that's where he said, look, we'll try to steer some more work your way. But one of the more memorable, well, there's 2 memorable ones that I've done so far recently is I'm in the new Pirates of the Caribbean movie.
Which is awesome.
Looking forward to that next year, to coming out and seeing exactly how much of me will be in that film. I mean, I was scanned 3D into a computer so that my entire 3D image was in the computer.
What's that like?
It's bizarre. They've got a frame where you sort of stand and you put your arms on like this, and you have to look at this spot on the wall. And they say, as much as you can, don't blink. And you think, how do I do that?
Blink.
So you're trying to stare at it without, moving your eyes, and they say small, shallow breaths if you can. I think I'm going to die. I've got this massive pirate costume on with beards and everything like that, and it was boiling because it's filmed in Queensland.
Yeah.
And I have to go around multiple times, and they're just sweeping you with this scanning thing.
Oh, really? So it's not even a...
No,
it's just a guy.
It's a handheld one.
Wow.
And he goes up and down from this, and you can see the screen. It's building you, creating you in the computer as it's doing it. Like from here, it's pixelating up and your legs appearing on the screen and all that sort of stuff.
It's surreal.
I think it's insane. And then when I found out the storyline of the movie on how there's a ghost pirate ship that's going around killing all the other pirates, and when they get killed, I think they become ghosts on the boat and so on. I'm thinking, okay, well, being scanned in the computer, obviously we get killed off at some point. Perhaps we're going to have more of a role through the film as an 3D animated ghost. I don't know. So I have to wait and see. You know, I could be 10 seconds in the film, or I could be, you know, all the way through the whole movie. You don't know. So I have to wait and see. But that was extremely cool. And then my other favourite one was playing Satan in a movie, and they got to beat up Jesus. And I actually chokeslammed Jesus through a table. It was the best thing ever. Having 5.5 hours of movie makeup put on me before I even got in front of a camera.
Well, okay, well, also, what's that like?
We did it on New Year's Eve.
Oh.
In 42-degree weather. The soundstage we had no air conditioning in it whatsoever because we were using live fire and everything like that. So I've got all this latex on me, and what they do is when they put the latex on, to build out your forehead and stuff, they fill it full of sponge and so on in there. So you've got all this sponge, it's absorbing all the sweat, and at a certain point it'll start to release out of sections of where your latex is. Or it'll fill up so that when they tear it off in the end, you just get this face full of sweat come over you. Oh, it's horrible. But they put it all on and they build you up, and they have the big horns and everything like that, and they scum up your teeth, so you've got all this grit on your teeth, and all the way down to doing your nails and the quick of your nails and the creases in your fingers. That's how detailed they go into it. So it's 42-degree weather, it's a New Year's Eve, it's in a soundstage that's as hot as hell, pardon the pun. And then I have to do a fight scene over and over and over again until we get it right.
Yep.
I was destroyed by the end of it. New Year's Eve, I was in bed by 8:30, 9 o'clock, and I was still red because the stuff wouldn't come off me. I got in the shower, I've torn off the horns, they've just ripped off straight. I've ripped the forehead off and the chin and whatever else I had and just put that in the corner. And I'm in the shower trying to wash it off, and it's not coming off. I'm going to be in here, you know, look at the time. I'm going to have all this crap still on me, so it wouldn't come off. So in the end, I've gone to bed. I was knackered. I woke up the next morning, and I've still got all this red shit on me. It's all on the pillow and on the sheets. What's in my ear? And you go like this, and all this latex comes out. You know, oh, what is this? You remember what you did, and you think, oh, this is wrong. It took almost a week for half of the makeup still to come off. It was that intense that it took forever.
That's unreal.
But seeing the footage and the trailer for it and everything like that is very worthwhile. And they did, oh no, that was a different movie I was going to say. We did a bit of a premiere at Movie World, but once this one is finished, because it's still post, it'll be good. So they're going to want to do another one where I play Satan again. So,
nice.
Which will be cool.
Part of the series?
Same sort of thing.
Nice.
So it'll be quite good. I mean, Jesus in the end got a victory over me, as apparently he always does, but I never give up.
You're the John Cena of evil.
The John Cena of Satan. And you will see me.
Very soon on a screen near you.
Indeed.
Well, Wayne, before we part, I guess the final question I have for you is, what is your advice? Now, there's somebody out there right now who's watching this who is a fan of the Maniac, who is going, I want to be a wrestler.
Mm-hmm.
I want to be a wrestler. What's your advice to
that? The first thing is to be a fan. You have to be a fan and love wrestling and love what it's all about from every aspect of it, not just the fact of, I want to be the star. Mm-hmm. You got to love it from the production side of things. You've got to understand it from the acting side of it, from the physical side of it, the training, the works. The only thing I can say to them, probably more so than anything else, is get your body in a shape that it should be in to start with.
Yeah. You
can still train and learn the wrestling basics and so on like that from a reputable trainer. But the body is paramount. I mean, a lot of people go, it doesn't matter what you look like. It does. It's as plain as simple as that. It does. I know what the WWE look for. I've worked for them for 16 years in the protection and bodyguard side of things. I've never wrestled for them. I had a chance to try out, but I was actually doing bodyguard work for them at the time. So it's kind of conflicting that, do you want me to go in the ring or do you want me to protect your superstar that's already here? So exactly. I ended up here instead of here. And plus my age was against me anyway.
Yeah.
But get your body in a shape where people are going to look and go, oh shit, look at this dude. Then you have your basics of wrestling, but then you need to find out who you are as what am I? Am I going to be the technical wrestler? Am I going to be a high flyer? Am I a monster? What am I?
Yep.
You need to know exactly what you're going to be, because if you try to be something else that you're not, then it's not going to work.
Oh, absolutely.
At all. You can try to be something and try and sell it to the crowd. They're not going to believe you. So do that, get your body in shape where you need to be, find a trainer that's reputable, but then find a company that's going to get behind you to help you, not a company that's going to just push their mates or the promoter's going to push himself. You need to be somewhere where the people look at it as a business.
Yeah.
Not that it's just this is what we're going to do every month just to make some quick cash and have our 5 minutes of fame, and that's it. Find a company that will actually invest in you, in your time, and you also too then invest in them with your time to try and build it. You got to work together, the wrestlers, the production, the promoter, everyone, even down to the people that sell your merchandise.
Yeah.
You got to all work together, because if you don't, it doesn't work. So that in itself is probably the best advice I can give someone to start with like that. Do the basics and get yourself physical enough and in shape that it's going to be something that a promoter wants. Because at the end of the day, you want a promoter to book you and want you.
Yeah, of course.
So look the part, and they're going to go, that one.
Beautiful. Well, Wayne, it's been an absolute pleasure. Thank you yet again, my friend.
Thank you.
On behalf of Wayne the Maniac, Mattei, the AWA World Champion, and myself, Adam Gerard, thank you yet again, and we'll see you next time on A Word with Adam.
This has been a Cabana production.